So this is Deepwater Horizon, and on Deepwater Horizon they shot the entire film in a car park in New Orleans. My job as a visual effects supervisor is to oversee the entire project from start to finish and trying to achieve the director's goals and creative vision for what he sees or she sees as the end result in their project. Productions that we've worked on over the few years at Iloura has been Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road. Game of Thrones is what we're working on, the last couple of Game of Thrones. Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, Ghost in the Shell, Spider-Man and Thor this year, and we've got a few big projects that we're working on into next year and the end of this year. So it's a very exciting time. So my story kind of comes back all the way back to high school when I was going through school. I picked up a camera and I instantly fell in love with being able to take a picture, frame anything that I could frame and come out with a result of visually stunning images. And I developed my own darkroom in my house and started developing and processing my own pictures. And that led me to wanting to do a visual communication degree through university. And during that time I was at university, a few movies came out, one being Star Wars, another one being The Matrix, and around then there was a movie called Toy Story. And those three movies, especially the scene in Star Wars, the Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, there was a scene with the pod race going through, the cameras are just following this CG pod race. It got me at a point where I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to deal with my career, but I saw that and I went, I want to do that. How do I achieve that? So this is another shot that we did on Deepwater Horizon. This plate we were supplied by the client and just asked to make an explosion. But the whole premise behind it was this is the explosion that starts off the entire last half of the movie with the fire and all the chaos and the embers and the smoke that was going on. The whole thing that burnt down started in the movie in this part of the room, and this is the engine room. It took us about 8 months to develop the mud, the explosions, to go in that, 4 seconds of film that you might see this end product. Maybe it's a little bit longer than that, maybe it's about 6 seconds, but it doesn't last long. And there's a hell of a lot of rendering and motion blurring and mud R&D that's going on behind that you see in the final product. At any one time, we could be managing, depending on the size of the project, we could be managing anywhere between about 20 on a smaller project, all the way through to, I think the next project that I'll be working on will probably have about 150 people that will be working from various points in each department that we'll have on our team. So getting a nomination for the Academy Awards for Deepwater Horizon for our visual effects was an amazing thing to have realized. When I was working on it, we were just trying to get through the work that we had to get through. We were trying to work out how we were going to achieve the explosion that we talked about. We were trying to work out how we're going to create the CG water in the time that we had to create it. We were trying to work out how to achieve so many things that when we were working on it, we had no idea of how big of a movie this could have been visual effects wise. And we saw the movie at a cast and crew screening, and everyone finished that movie. They were on the edge of their seats. I think everyone was sweating because they felt like they were part of the movie. They were there that night. And everyone just got up and just said, wow. Since then, it has gone on to be nominated for visual effects Oscars, and just being a part of that night and a part of that whole Oscar realm is something that I couldn't believe that would actually happen. I hoped it would one day in my future, but at my age, I'm just so astounded I got to be a part of that.